Call the meeting to order. Please stand and read the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we want to call the building corp meeting to order also.
Building Corporation meeting to order.
So this is an unusual meeting in that we are having a dual building corporation and the Vernon Township board meeting together.
First up is minutes of the building corporation.
The motion. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, accept and approve the minutes of the last building corporation meeting of November 3rd, 2025. Second.
And if Robert, do you want to, if both of you could sign it? Sign the bottom of it and hand that to Stacy.
Jeff Harris.
Jeff, have we got you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, welcome.
Well, the next is township minutes. We can't do the March minutes. Larry's not online, is he?
No.
And he's not here, so.
Okay.
I wasn't there, so we'll go to the April minutes for approval.
Well, he's not, well, he wasn't at April's meeting.
He did take them though. He took them from the recording, so they are there for you to approve.
I make the motion that we approve April minutes from our township board meeting.
I second it. Motion's been made and second. We approve the Vernon Township board meeting minutes from April 15th, 2026. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Minutes carried.
If you could sign those and hand those down to Stacy. Then next is the building corporation nomination of officers.
I'm going to make a nomination for Brendan Hartnett to be president this year.
I will second that nomination.
We doing that in once. One by slate or one by one?
Why don't we do it by slate? That way, we can have a single vote on the.
And then I'll make a nomination for Jeff. I'm going to butcher it, Jeff, even though I know how to say it.
Augustinovich.
Augustinovich to be, are you ready, Jeff? Secretary. I second.
I make a nomination that Robert Holland be the vice president.
And I will second that. All right. Let's go ahead and call a vote for Brendan to be president, Robert to be vice president, and Jeff to be secretary. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the motion will pass for the offices.
Then we've got Jeff Bellamy with us just to give us an update on the Secretary of State filing for the building corporation.
We filed the corporate report in February, and Floria is getting inundated by third-party solicitors that are sending notices that we did not do that under the slick guise that they can do it for her for $250. In spite of, I pull the record every time she asks and go, here's the record we filed, we really did it. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the current Secretary of State or not, but we have filed, and you are in good standing for another 2 years.
Then Stacy, do we have any updates on the bond payment schedules or the amortization schedules?
No, there is over there to your left, Robert, if you guys are interested, there is a debt report. It's the second one back. That does have shows what the current obligations are for 2026 for each of the stations and when the timing is that they're paid on January. Well, okay. The station next door is paid January 15th and July 15th, whereas the station in McCordsville is paid on 12/31 and 6/30 or something like that. So basically, so, there has been some obligation that's been met this year already and some still outstanding for this year. So the big to note item, I guess, is from an amortization schedule perspective is that the station next door is scheduled to pay off in 2029. So.
Any questions on the bond payment schedule or the amortization schedule? Okay, we can move on to bond reports and compliance. Marielle, thanks for joining us.
I know,
bond
you see me once a year for this meeting, so hello again. So going off of the bond payment schedules, the two bonds you have outstanding, because they were publicly offered to the market, there are certain SEC requirements that, so basically there's a report due every year on June 30th. And the building corporation, I believe, was the issuer and we're the dissemination agent. So we help you report that information on a website called Emma. This is required for the life of the bond. So obviously, like when they're paid off, that's no longer a requirement for that bond. The information on the report is like pretty simple. It's mostly like your property tax collections for that year, tax rate updates, top employer updates, stuff like that, just that the investors asked about when we initially sold them the bonds. We're also required to disclose any material events like missed payments, rating changes, changes in the tax exempt status of the bonds, which that's not applicable. If it is, tell me. I don't think it is applicable though. And then at this point, we don't see any issues with the timing. I know Florie's going to be gone soon, but we've pulled together most of the information for that report and we'll send her that draft probably this week, hopefully. And we'll have Florie and Stacy look over the report and sign off before that gets finalized on Emma. So it's pretty simple. We have your unaudited financials already online. I pulled that from Gateway. So that's good. And your audit, I think, is not due till next year. So yeah, you guys are easy. So.
And we do have our audit results from our latest results.
Okay. I think I pulled something last year. Was it last year? Are you every 2 years? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana's a little funky.
I think we're unusual because we have the bonds that.
I see. Okay. That's good to know.
And then I know the arbitrage side of it.
Oh yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah, there was a weird requirement in one of your bond documents about doing an arbitrage report. Basically, to maintain the tax exempt status of your bonds, you just have to make sure you don't make too much interest on the bonds. Like, there's certain rules from the IRS. So that report, I believe, is generally done. We kind of outsource that to a third party and they just automatically do that, but that'll be done in the summer, I believe. So nothing needed there. We don't charge for that. So yeah.
Any questions on the Emma filings or?
Remind me of the organization that you.
Oh, Audrey Consulting. Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay, then we've got our property update, the Jeff and Stacy show and on station 431.
I'll go first. So good news is that Mission Mechanical began their project work on site today to replace the HVAC units. And they anticipate it'll probably take the length of the entire week because there are 4 separate units that need to be uninstalled and 4 separate units that need to be reinstalled. So they started with I think the main living area in the east bunk rooms today, but they had to remove the east bunk room unit in order to be able to get the big unit out. So there's a little bit of Jenga being played next door in terms of getting that done, but they should have all that work completed by the end of this week. As part of that project too, I don't know if this was provided as an update to you all, but we went ahead and moved to getting rid of, we had several mini split systems throughout the building. One was in the watch room in the front. We had a number of issues with it, and we're going to have to pay several $1,000s. I don't remember. Do you remember, Chief? Like $3,000 to repair it for like the third time in 5 years. So we talked to Mission about actually ducting that space. So that will be the last piece of what they get done as a part of this project, is to make sure that it is on the central system and no longer, on that mini split. So that should prevent a lot of future headaches with that. So real excited to see how that all performs. Jeff can give you a mediation update.
Well, the mediation was successful. It was also subject to the confidentiality clause and the settlement agreement. So I can say the mediation was successful. It was within the parameters that the building corporation set. I think we sat in this room maybe not quite a year before the mediation and several months before the mediation and came to a mutual conclusion through discussion that it was best to do some more due diligence and look at the building a little more closely. And I think that was good advice and a wise decision from the two bodies. We have payments coming our way of amounts I could tell you about offline. And two of the three participants in the mediation have already paid their payments. The third one got a love note from me today, reminding them that everything was due last month, but I think that will come along very shortly because I've sent W-9s to everyone, so they know where to send it and how much. So hopefully, at least from that side of things, we are about done. We might take on one small additional issue, which will be sort of the punctuation of the whole thing, and that would be pertaining to that upper separation wall and writing a letter and maybe even considering a small claim about someone that did not participate in the mediation. But that would just be just a little bit more to bring back in the process. But overall, the mediation, Florian and Stacy were both there. I thought went very, very well.
So thank you.
I mean, I don't know if I can ask this, like in the end, was it a big hit against the township, the cost to resolve that minus what was recouped in the remediation?
I mean, that what it cost us has nothing to do with the mediation itself. So you could tell them how close we were.
I think we did very well.
Okay.
I think we can say that. We did very, very well, better than we expected to do.
I think, I just wanted kind of the gist of how much of an impact it had on.
I will say this, the mediator that Jeff highly recommended was excellent. He was excellent.
I am glad he was excellent because Flory was about this close to saying, I'm going to throw you out and get some guy. I'm going to get Judge Wapner to do this because it was taking so long.
I am not known for my patience.
He did an excellent job, and the results in the mediation were very good. There's no way the township will recover from the aggravation that the Department administration and these two went through in getting us to this point. That is not capable of compensation. Her drive, and she was our exterior hard drive at the meeting. Now, when did that happen, Stacey? Well, that was, and we had great data to support the claim. So it was a team effort, and I'm glad it came out as it did.
And we left shortly after lunch.
Yeah.
Even better.
Which was even better.
I called, I kept preaching. They said, watch out for the 4:00 miracle when everybody has to get to ball practice or gets hungry or has something at 6 they have to get to. And all of a sudden everything unlocks at 4. And I think the mediator saw where it needed to get, and we got it done about 2:00.
and flat out said, I'm willing to go to court. Station 432.
Nothing extraordinary to report there. We've had a few minor situations come up related to some rooftop HVAC units and some roof leaks that have presented themselves. But we've got some really good partners, I think, in the building of that station who have been capable of coming out and resolving things quickly. So nothing extraordinary to report there for sure.
Move on to the land purchase.
Optimistically, we're going to close this week. We're going to try and do it Thursday. We had a little bit of a disappearance of the surveyor last week. He popped back up and confirmed all my questions, so it would have been good to know that. A week ago, title companies often surprise me how rapidly they put things together. So, and sellers motivated to get done Thursday as well. So everything looks good. Just got to get transfer documents done, and the title company wants the survey reported in advance. And after we spoke, I offered to him that if it facilitates, I can go to work a long way Wednesday morning and go record the survey if need be. So everything's on track. Everybody wants to get things done. So we just need to get conveyance documents done and the settlement statement.
Any questions on land purchase? Old business, I think everybody is aware that I am taking my parents' ashes, and I am going to hike with my brother across northern Spain. And so while I am going to be gone for several weeks, Jeff Augustinovich, thank you very much, Jeff, has volunteered, or maybe been voluntold, I don't know, but he has willingly agreed to serve as the township trustee designee. In the past, Stacy was able to do that, but you cannot hold two lucrative offices, and we all know how lucrative school board is. So Stacy will continue to serve in the role she's serving in. Jeff will come in and countersign checks and countersign the township assistance POs, just so everyone is familiar with that process. We will make sure that our due diligence is followed. And I just want to say again how much I appreciate everybody has been enormously supportive of what's been a very difficult time for me and my family. And I think everybody knows my husband passed away a week and a half ago, and I need to leave. Everybody they had an intervention with me and told me you need to go on vacation. And so I'm going to go. So thank you to everybody who has been so supportive. I'm going to go on for 4.5 weeks. Okay. We start in the Pyrenees and we hike all the way across northern Spain.
Awesome.
Well, if I survive it, it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know about all the hiking, but it's gonna be
You didn't book Spirit, did you? You didn't book Spirit, did you?
No,
I don't think they go that far.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
We have it both sad and exciting news. We'll have Chief Elder talk a little bit about what his new position is, but we are sad to see him depart as he is our first full-time chief and has done an extraordinary job and has really created enormous stability and a steady hand in these past few years. And as we've built our department. And Chief, do you want to talk about what you're going to be doing? And
oh yeah, I will be the new EMA Homeland Security Director for Hancock County. Please.
So nearby. Should we go ahead and go into the surplus vehicle?
Sure. So we have a resolution in front of you for 2 of the fire department vehicles that are no longer being used. One is a 2014 Ford Explorer, and the other is a 2001 Ford Expedition. kind of the purchase of some newer vehicles earlier this year. Those two we are requesting to surplus.
I bet that should be the last, yeah, sorry.
And that would be a vote of the township board.
I know you told us what the vehicles, one was the Expedition,
Yes, the
and
2001.
the other was one of the Explorers.
Correct. Yeah, the 2014 Explorer.
Should be on the back too as the exhibit.
Okay. I make the motion that we accept resolution 2026-5-4A, a resolution approving this selling of surplus vehicles, a 2014 Ford Explorer and 2001 Ford Expedition.
I second it. Motion been made and seconded. We pass resolution 2026-5-4A. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Ayes carried 2-0.
And then we move on also with the township board on the quarterly finance report.
So you've got some reports in front of you. The top part references the general fund for the township. So group 1, which is personnel services, we've only 9% spent so far. Supplies 6%, services and charges 5%, and capital outlays 1%. So we're way under budget right now currently. Obviously there's some, as you know, some personnel changes coming forward in June. Start to see some more of that money's being used on the personnel side for sure. And then we did encumber the $185,000 originally for the land purchase. And we will, you voted 2 months ago, March, I think, to add to that in order to settle out the remaining or the additional land to be purchased for the Station 3. So $185,000 is coming from there, plus the additional monies from the township budget. So on welfare administration, this is new this year because if you'll remember, we moved Jenny's position out of township or out of the township general fund and into the welfare administration. So as of this is through 25% elapsed, 23% of that has been spent on the personnel and about 13% on mileage reimbursement for her for the meetings and things she goes to in Hancock County often. Direct township assistance, group 1, which is medical, hospital, burial. So far, we have spent 0%. But as you can see on other direct poor relief, which includes housing and utilities primarily, we're at 33% spent already. So we're ahead of pace. Again, in 2026, cost of rents are high. And I don't know how the number of requests fares yet, but is it up?
It's up.
Okay. So we're
up substantially.
We're at about 30% spent. We'll keep an eye on that budget as we continue to go throughout the year. And, you know, if we need to do an additional appropriation, we will come back to the township board when the timing is appropriate and we kind of have a better measure on where we're going.
Just so everybody knows, we are seeing a dramatic climb in township assistance as we see the number of apartments and as we see the amount of senior living increase. And it's always directly proportional to those two things almost everywhere. But we are last year and this year, it has been a steep incline in the number of requests. So
just as a matter of review on the fire, we're running kind of on pace for the most part, except under the capital outlays, which, you know, only a portion of that is intended to be spent this year. But We did make, if you turn the page over on the back, even though it doesn't show it here because this was just through March 31st, we did make the payment for the Quint last week before,
About a truck.
2 weeks. I can't remember. And it did come in under budget, which is fantastic. About $2,500 and some change ish under budget, but hey, it's under budget. So it was a very large payment, $1.6 million and some change. So, but that has been a big portion of that money that you see outstanding on the encumbrances. That's what that was. And then on the 8692 fund, which is the special equipment like replacement fund, it's running at about 15%. So in line. I will go on to the debt report. This is always kind of a weird one because State Board of Accounts doesn't call it debt, but we do call it debt. So you can just see the ending balances as of December 31st, 2025. What has currently been paid to date, which is so far just the ambulance and then one payment for the station next door. And it gives you the remaining balances at the end of the year for 2026. So we just wanted to let you guys know we're doing completing our obligations as they exist.
This is confusing because State Board of Accounts during our last audit, they had us take the lease rental bonds off of Gateway, which we were very confused by because we are the fiscal agent. So our belief is be transparent, show everything irrespective of which group it actually belongs with. Because the building corporation is not audited, it seems like where would this be shown? So Robert maybe can explain that to us.
How often is that ladder truck paid?
Oh, the ladder truck was a one-time payment.
Oh,
We paid cash for that.
right. Okay. That's
So-
why it's in.
Yes, that's why it's not on there because we actually were able to, through, what I would consider some incredibly responsible fiscal policy in the start of the territory and continued on through Chief Felder's term in the organization, we were able to put that money aside and pay for it with cash. So,
And Trust Indiana was an enormous help in that because
Yes.
the interest rates were very, very good on it. So. Okay.
the last report is the investment report that you have, and that is from Trust Indiana. You can see right now it's saying the average yield for the period was 3.64%, not nearly as healthy as what we were earning when we first put that money in there, but nonetheless, again, you can see the township or the fire territory beginning and ending balance was before we took the $1.7 million out to pay for the ladder truck. But it's still been earning some excellent income, $12,175.49 for the township and almost $26,000 for the territory. So, we'll continue to keep those investments, keep an eye on those investments. And as long as they are better than, what we can earn at the bank, we'll continue to keep them there. And it's fully liquid. So the transfer from Trust Indiana back to the township account to pay for the ladder truck was a day. So
we do need a vote on the quarterly finances, debt report, and investment from the township.
Quarterly debt and what?
Investment.
The finance report, debt, and investment reports.
Make the motion that we approve the debt report, investments report, and the quarterly finance report as presented.
I second it. Everybody in favor of a motion been made and seconded, we approve the finance, debt, and the investment accounts. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Motion carries 2-0.
Chief, do you want to talk through the budget?
Yeah, we presented the 2027 budget to the Fire Territory Board and received their approval. Just to walk you briefly through it. Michael Reuter gave us a budget goal of $7,115,683. To be able to do everything that we need to do for 2027, we came in with a proposed budget of $7,319,949, which obviously is $204,266 above. We talked to Michael, we met with Michael. He is comfortable for 1 year using money from the reserve funds to offset that balance, to balance out the budget for the year. With that, what we will be able to do is, with what we've estimated insurance costs will be, keep the insurance cost as is for the employees, adding $2,000 across the board to every employee's salary, which will increase the pension base, which is our goal, obviously, to be competitive with the areas around us. We will add one part-time position each day for 24 hours. What that will do is allow us to allow one career person off per day additional to accommodate for PTO hours, training, sick leave, things like that. And we will increase our supply and contractual budget to manage the anticipated cost increases. Again, Michael is comfortable with that $204,000 coming from the reserve funds. We do have our meetings scheduled for May 12th with McCordsville and May 18th for Floresville. And then if there are no concerns from them, it will be coming back to you.
We wanted to make sure that you had copies of it before it went to the town, just so that if there were any questions before it went to the town, you had the opportunity to ask questions. And that's a nice summary with the objectives on the then our final item, if there's no questions on budget, is the McCurdsville offer for the right of way for the McCurdsville Cemetery. Jeff?
We got a very thick packet for a very small piece of property that McCordsville's right of way acquisition consultant, USI, a guy named Steve Middleton, sent to us. I originally talked to someone in Kelly when we did the correction on the other side of the street for the old parks, and he said, oh, by the way, we're going to come see you in the spring for some right of way. And I kind of politely said, in the cemetery? He said, yeah, kind of, sort of not. Anyway, it's 0.028 acre. It's about 1,220 square feet at the northwestern corner off of what is it? 700. 600. It's there kind of toward the creek. They need it to angle in some sidewalk. The proposal is $9,715, of which $1,635 is a fence relocate. I reviewed the uniform appraisers reports. They're using very favorable comps. So the dollar amount makes sense. I talked to Flory and Stacy, and that they had recently had sections of fence repaired, and it was $500 a section. And so we think the fence relocate fees is adequate. More so, we don't really interact with this stuff in the same way as a standard property owner does. It's really not a property loss cash value thing. We have a lot of nonprofit motive obligations to the cemetery, and one of them will write a letter to Mr. Middleton of, hey, you're going to have to confirm you're not getting in any grave locations, and this is perhaps, just because there's not a headstone over in that area doesn't mean in these old cemeteries there aren't remains. And so we're going to ask what they're going to do to confirm there are no remains there. disinterring remains in Indiana is a felony still. So we need to make sure that those remain at rest, that they will indemnify us for any disturbance they might do, and maybe give us some confidence that they might get a vendor to go do radar, sonar, or whatever, and make sure there's nothing down there. And then note to them, at least on the other corner where they're actually putting the roundabout in, is that the township's had several vehicle strikes at that corner, and so perhaps that's not the best place to have people stand and wait to cross. And so just see what their plan is there. We'll probably copy Mr. Crum on that, just because USI is just the middle person to acquire this stuff. And then if they're putting in sidewalk, confirm that if it's in the right of way, that the township will have no obligation to care for it, because you're going to zap up $9,000 real rapidly on getting a vendor or someone to come and scrape and treat it. And so we're going to make sure that that's not going to end up being our obligation to care for. So it's all very regular. We'll drop him a line. Hopefully have that drafted before you leave, and see what their response is. They were very amenable on working on the correction across the street. And so it was unusual, though. They did do a very substantial cemetery evaluation as part of their larger take project. And the three of us noted it was a substantial cemetery evaluation that they never bothered to talk to the administrator of the cemetery. So interesting how that happened, but here we are. So hopefully we'll have that completed to report back to you at some later time. It's not anything you need to take action on, and it's taking. So if they want it, they're going to get it eventually. So the numbers were decent, but we need to talk about some details.
I have a question about the fence. What fence did they replace from what happened this winter? Whereabouts along the front?
So McCordsville was not involved with that. Someone had hit the fence and we replaced.
Oh, yeah, what section of it though?
That was down
From the park.
towards 750, closer to the dental office.
Well, everything's nice. I drove by there today, everything's nice and even. And then there's one post that's down about 4 inches.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
And then the rest of it comes back up and it's all straight. That's all level.
We'll have to check it. Thanks for letting us know. Okay.
I just thought if that's where they fixed it, then they need to come out and jack it up or whatever they got to do. Looks kind of funny.
Is it down close to where the sign is? The cemetery sign is?
It's either the 6th or 7th fence post from the corner coming north.
That would be where it was. Okay.
I'll go, but yeah, we can take a look at it and see.
Okay.
I didn't think they were doing anything, but it's possible that when they repaired that section, that something happened. So, because the posts were fine, it was just the fence section itself that they had to replace.
Yeah, the middle.
Because someone had like run into it and basically,
Maybe the fence had just slid, maybe the brackets on the fence post have just slid down. Maybe it just needs to be
Okay.
moved back up.
When did you see this?
About 4:30 this afternoon.
Okay. Because we were out there, we've been out there doing a lot of work and I had checked it and there wasn't anything. So it makes me think that it's new.
We'll check.
Okay. Thank you. Good to know. Very good to know.
You're having new business or old business? We'll do a meeting at 7 p.m.
Wow, we're on record time for our meeting.
15 minutes longer than last.
Well, it was a double meeting.
Next year.
Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.